Well, if you think about it, orchestras and corporations are very similar, right? They are workplaces. They have hierarchy. They have departments. So, an orchestra is a collection of individual musicians, but of course they're sorted by instrument, right? And so we have X number of first violins and second violins, and they all play the same part. But then you go to another department, and let's say the clarinet department, and you have four of them, and they have individual roles. This person's first, that person's second. This person plays the clarinet, but also another instrument. I mean, it's exactly like any other workplace, right? You have a call center where everyone is doing the same job, but then you have another department where you have a director and a manager and a coordinator, and all of those people have to work together, but they're in a hierarchy. And that's in an overarching hierarchy that leads up to a CEO, right? So in that sense, they're very similar. They're also similar in that you're bringing together individuals with individual aspirations, talents, and challenges, and you need them to pull in the same direction to reach a common goal. And I think the big difficulty in an orchestra and in any corporate environment is that balance of harnessing the individual skill and imagination and creativity and drive of each of those individual people, and sort of keeping that spark and that the ways in which they can contribute because of it, but harnessing that into an overarching vision. And that vision can only be achieved with with that collective buy-in, but it's driven by the individual creativity and energy. That's where I see orchestras and corporations being very similar. At the end of the day, you are a corporation and you create products and services, and you need an audience to have interest in buying those products and services. In our case, that's donors, people who give us money, people, corporations, the government, and it's also people who purchase tickets, right? Those are our revenue streams. But at the end of the day, you have to have a product that they care about. And so we're thinking about what's in the box and what is the shape of, like, how is the box, what's the shape of the box, how is it decorated, right? So let's just take Mozart, for example. We have to be very mindful about, well, does Mozart continue to have relevance? I think Mozart does have relevance. I think it's art that has a timelessness about it because it speaks to the human condition. But how are we programming it? What's the context that we're putting it in? Where are we playing it? What time does that concert start? How are we marketing it? How are we making sure that the audiences of today understand what Mozart is, who he was, what he did, why this music matters, and we're delivering it in a way that is meaningful to our audience? And I think that's the same whether you're selling paper, whether you're selling hotel rooms, whether you're selling widgets, that perhaps the core of your business doesn't change. You make the thing that you make, and perhaps what makes your company special is that, maybe you do make it in the same way that it was made 300 years ago. And essentially we do. We make music in almost the exact same way it was made in Mozart's time, but the audiences keep changing. And beyond the view that it's the right thing to do because art matters, beauty matters, the connection that coming together and experiencing art, that matters as well. So even beyond the it's the right thing to do piece, as a business, if we don't keep an audience, we won't have a business for very long. So as an orchestra and as any other corporation, you're constantly trying to keep your product and service in tune with where the audience is going. And I think the most important thing here is really understanding the product, really understanding what you make, and making sure that that is done in a way that is done with integrity. But my view is the packaging is always up for reinvention.